Is Vegas safe to visit? A question I never thought I'd be asked, and definitely a question I never thought I'd ask myself. Vegas has changed quite a lot since 2020, and it can be somewhat put down to the pandemic we had back then and how we all changed our routines and actions all over the world. Let's face it, every city on Earth is unsafe to an extent, and every city can be dangerous in certain parts. So Vegas has always been dangerous and unsafe in some parts. There's a lot of places that tourists just don't go, and there's a lot of places that tourists shouldn't go. Crime is on the rise, but so is the population. After all, we passed 8 billion people back in 2022, and with more people comes more crime, naturally. To think that more people wouldn't cause more crime is like looking at the amount of PlayStations selling today as opposed to the amount of PlayStations sold 20 years ago in the same time frame. There's obviously going to be more sold now than 20 years ago because there's more of us to buy them. So yes, Vegas is becoming more and more unsafe because there's more of us causing crime, but it's absolutely no reason to avoid going. In fact, you should do the opposite. You should go a lot more often. Violent crime on the Strip will always be less prevalent than violent crime that happens to the east of the city, for example, but you will more likely find petty crime on the Strip, like pickpockets and con artists. These are less violent, obviously, but easier rewards for the criminals. Just like I mentioned earlier, with any city in the world, you just need to keep your wits about you, consciously keep an eye on your surroundings, and yes, I know it can be difficult when you've gone to Vegas to party, you've had one too many beverages, you're more likely to be targeted by a pickpocket then. And you're more likely to be targeted by a pickpocket when you are in an inebriated state. These days, the media will portray places are violent, a wasteland or just a bad place to go, but they only do that for the views, which in turn brings in cash for them. They'll stretch the truth or just outright lie to suit their own narrative. You can look at various places about Las Vegas and they'll tell you it's unsafe. And the people that write these articles probably haven't even stepped foot in Nevada, let alone Clark County. If you're a casual tourist to Vegas, you're much less likely to encounter any type of this crime, let alone violent crime. But if you're somebody who frequently visits Vegas or even lives there, you are more likely to see the rise in the crime. But like I said earlier, it doesn't mean Vegas is unsafe or dangerous to the average tourist. Most of the higher end casinos like Wynn, Bellagio, Fontainebleau, they're more likely to be on top of any criminal happenings. And in their property, they want to maintain their high quality and high standards. If they started letting all the riffraff in, like myself, then the lower end crowds are more likely to follow. I'm not riffraff really, but that doesn't matter. In turn, it would raise the level of illicit events in a casino, so this is why the higher end properties stay high end. But to answer the original question, is Vegas safe to visit? There is no real yes or no answer because people's perceptions of a place being unsafe is different from person to person. By my standards, Vegas is not unsafe. It is a perfectly safe place to go and travel as many times as you want to in a year. At least I view it safer than somewhere like LA or New York. And, if we're being honest, anywhere is safer than some parts of San Francisco right now. And that's no disrespect to it. I actually love San Francisco, but it's just out of control up there. What do you think though? Do you think Vegas has become unsafe? Or do you think nothing has really changed? Let me know in the comments below.